What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So earlier this week I did make a video comparing the Wired Freedom to the newly announced eCells 5-star bike that looks to be like a direct competitor to the Wired Freedom. In this video I did a brief comparison of the two bikes and also talked a little bit about eCells as a business. And since then, I did talk to the customer service staff of eCells along with the owner, David Cleveland, of the company. And they did also update their website with more accurate information about this bike that's going to be released in the spring. So first, we're going to again go over some key differences between this bike and the Wired Freedom, because since speaking with David, I learned a couple things about this bike that's being released. And in my rush to get the first video out, I did miss a couple small details that I want to point out in this video. Let's jump right in. All right, so first I want to talk about the frame of this bike. They actually use the same frame on this bike that they've been using on all their bikes for many years now. These bikes have been around for a while, and these frames are used on their dual motor bikes. So even though this looks like the Wired frame, I don't think it is. It's definitely a different frame. I don't know if it's from the same manufacturer, but I do know a lot of these frames do look very similar that come out of China. However, these are different frames, and eCells did not use Wired's design. They just kept using the same design that they've been using for some time now. And once again, the key differences in this frame is that you do see some mounting holes for a front rack that you can add on, along with some mounting holes for a water bottle holder. It looks like this suspension arm is slightly different as well. And if you do scroll down on their website, it does say that the standard frame is 17 inches, but they do make 19-inch frames through special orders. I don't know if that's going to cost more or not, but it is nice that they do have an option to get a 19-inch frame. And as you guys can see, the frame has a lifetime warranty and all the other parts have a 12-month warranty. And if you guys do look closely, there is a piece right over here that extends down from the rear swing arm, almost like a fender. It does look like their fender goes all the way down in front of the controller box, but this looks like some type of a secondary fender, or maybe a way to securely mount the black fender to the bike. So that is kind of interesting. That's another difference from the Wired bike. And if you see here, they are using the 1200 watt nominal rated Hentac motor, which pumps out, it looks like they say 120 Newton meters of torque. Same steel reinforced nylon gears that the Wired Freedom uses. Now on Wired's website, they say that their motor produces 138 Newton meters of torque. And they also say they have a custom-made motor specifically for their bike that has a nominal rating of 1500 watts. I don't know if that's because they made the motor more durable since they had a lot of magnet issues in the past. And now that the motors are better, maybe they can handle more power. I'm not sure. These are just claims that are made on the website. I don't have both of these motors in my possession, so I can't verify those claims myself. But today we're just going to read the words on the website, and you guys can try and verify or interpret those words as you see fit. One small difference that I did miss is that the eCells bike has small little cutouts in the wheels, as you can see right here where the tire tube liner sits. And what that'll help with is keeping the wheel a little bit lighter than the solid wheels. And it does add a certain aesthetic, but it is there. And if you like it, I guess that's a good thing. Here's another picture of and from this picture right here, it looks like this bike does not come with a derailleur guard. Maybe they'll change that later on. Another big and obvious difference between these two companies is that this company does not sell, as of right now, a step-through cruiser version of this bike. And I do think they are going to be releasing more colors than this blue color right here. I'm not 100% sure what they are. Don't quote me on this. It might change after the release of this video, but I think they're releasing a black color and some type of a gloss black color as well. Again, guys, don't tear me apart in the comments. I'm not confirming that as accurate information, but I do know that they are going to be releasing more colors. And right now, I think Wired does have more colors available for this bike. Now let's go ahead and quickly run over the similarities of this bike. The controller looks like it's going to be exactly the same, a 40 amp 60 volt controller. It'll have the same cadence sensor for pedal assist. This is the same exact display that the Wired Freedom comes with as well. Same half twist throttle, same battery, 60 volt 20 amp hour with the same Samsung cells. I don't know if the battery is coming from the same manufacturer, which means that the construction of the battery might be different, but at least we know the specifications are more than likely going to be the same, has the same cells, and the same voltage and capacity rating. Same grip, same rear suspension, same front fork, 26 by 4 inch Kenda tires, same Tektro brakes. This is one part that they did update in their website, the same 56 tooth chain wheel in the front. The chain ring is going to be the same large 56 tooth size. And it says here the bike weighs 77 pounds. From my experience in reviewing bikes, usually this number is inaccurate on companies' websites, and I've picked up bikes that are either heavier or lighter than what the company says on their website, but one could assume that the bikes are going to be very, very similar because they have very similar components. On the Wired Freedom website, it says that their bike is 88 pounds with the battery installed and 76 pounds without the battery. So I don't know who's accurate. You guys let me know in the comments below. And as far as knowing which bike is going to perform better than the other, right now it seems like they're going to be very similar. And from what I learned from the phone call with the owner in their testing of this bike, it sounds like it will be very similar to the Wired Freedom. But we can't with 100% certainty say that because we haven't put them to the test. This bike isn't even out yet. And we simply don't know for sure if the performance will be the same. But if we know that the motor is very similar and the controller is the same, it's probably going to be pretty close. Let's talk about the potential customer service differences between these two companies. So I did call eCells, and it seemed like there was a full staff working there. Multiple people handling multiple different aspects of the business. When I did find out about this bike, I did email them, and I had that email forwarded to David, the owner, who then called me later and we talked over the phone about this new bike. Unfortunately, we weren't able to negotiate a deal for me to review this bike, but who knows, maybe that'll change in the future. He did say that since this bike has been announced, it's been non-stop phone calls and emails asking questions about this bike. Now let's talk about Wired. So everyone has a different customer service experience. Now from my experience, I bought a secondhand wicked cruiser over a year ago now. And back then, it was very easy to get in touch with the company. Usually, the chat feature in the website went straight to Steve, one of the owners of the company, and we would frequently talk there and over the phone regarding parts, e-bikes, shunt modding, and other topics related to that bike and other bikes. I don't know if you guys saw in my last video where I built a dual motor wired cruiser, the bracket that the controls sit on always breaks. It's just such a flimsy bracket, and mine broke from my secondhand purchase, and Steve was kind enough to send a brand new one out. And back then they were having magnet issues in their motors, and Steve did offer to send me a brand new motor core out because of this, even though my bike was purchased secondhand. So that was pretty cool. And this was before I was anyone on YouTube. I pretty much had no videos out and no subscribers. Now I know they've grown as a company recently, and I do try and reach out to them once in a while. For whatever reason, I'm not getting responses back in the chat feature, and I'm not getting my emails returned. I don't know why. They're not as communicative as they used to be. Maybe they're just busy. I don't know what's going on over there. I'm just letting you guys know of what my experience is like right now. So from a customer service standpoint, it seems like both companies would be okay to deal with, and you would probably get your issues fixed relatively easily if you bought one of these bikes from one of the companies. Now, in my Facebook group, E-Bike Addicts, I did mention that I am making this video, and I asked the people in the group, do you want me to talk to the owner about anything? Do you want me to ask any questions? Maybe I can get something answered for you, and we're gonna do that next. So one of the questions that was asked was, will this bike be able to be shipped to the United Kingdom? That answer is no. Because of the e-bike laws, it's very difficult to get a high-powered e-bike into the country, and so because of that, they cannot ship this bike into the United Kingdom. Do they ship to Canada? Yes, they do. They actually ship bikes all the time into Canada. And it seems like they also do have a large stockpile of spare parts that they can send out to you in case one of your parts fails for whatever reason. They can quickly send you a new part and you can replace it on your bike. Now let's talk about the price difference between these two bikes. So for eCells, it's $19.95. If we go ahead and add it to the cart, go to checkout, and we go ahead and use the code KS1. And here are my final thoughts on what's going on around the announcement of this bike versus the Wired Freedom. It's clear that people can become very emotionally attached to their consumer decisions and the businesses that they support. And that is becoming very clear in the comments section of these videos that I've made, where there's a lot of going back and forth over which business is better, which business should they support. And people are even going as far as to say that I myself have betrayed Wired as a business by simply making a very neutral video about a competitor that is coming out. And that it was only a matter of time before a competitor did appear. And guys, full disclosure, I am affiliated with Wired right now. And if you guys do use the link below in the video description, it will support this channel and it will help make more videos like this. So if you guys think of it, I'm kind of hurting myself by making you guys aware about this information, but I think it's important to know, and it's important to discuss the details about this competitor's bike, and it's important for you as the consumer to know your options so you can make the best purchasing decision. So all I have to say is feel free and argue, have heated discussions in the comments section, so long as there's no direct insults and direct name calling. I'm looking at you, JFly2249. I don't know who you are, but you seem to pop up on every single Wired video where someone even says something remotely critical about a Wired bike. You are there in the comments section to defend Wired to the death. Now, I will say this. There are rumors as to who you are, and I'm sure you know about these rumors. And the fact that one of your drone videos on your channel flies over Lake Forest, Illinois, it could sway people into thinking some type of way considering your proximity to a certain business. But that's neither here nor there, and I'm just pointing out an objective fact using publicly available information. So for now, all commenters, trolls, happy, sad, or even angry won't be censored and won't have their comments deleted in the comments section. So long as you guys aren't throwing direct insults at each other and you're just passionately talking about the topic at hand, I'm okay with it. I don't think any information should be censored, and people should see all the comments of a video so they can make up their own mind as to which bike to get. So they can make up their own mind on which bike to get. And a closing statement for this video: go hug your family members, your friends, your pets, and spend some quality time with them. Because in the end, you have to realize that we're just a bunch of grown men arguing about electric bicycles over the internet. Until next time.